Are you live?
All right. Welcome to UXP 4.0, all things UXP. My name is Joachim. I am the CEO of ClickLearn, and I have been looking forward to this session for a very, very long time, like a kid on Christmas Eve. Today we'll be discussing the UXP or UAC for IFS, which is the same technology, just two different names. We'll probably be using both terms, so please, if you hear UAC, UXP, just think of them as exactly the same thing. Now, the UXP is ClickLearn's vision of a digital adoption platform that allows users to learn in the flow of work and leverage support in the moment of need. It's contextual guidance that follow the user inside the IT system and presents them with viable process options on what they're trying to achieve. And by hitting one of those options, the user will be guided through that process in the moment of need and in the flow of work. It's a notification system that allows you to distribute messages throughout your application, preventing bad experiences from happening if something is not working in your system. It's an integrated LLM that draws from input from your own company's assets as well as processes that are relevant to the end user. It's a targeting platform that enables you to target all your processes with rifle precision to the right users. And it's so many other things. And that's exactly why we're here today. How do you use it? How do you benefit from your interactions with it? And how do you get started? Now, today I have the absolute privilege of being joined by some of the most amazing people inside ClickLearn. I'll go out on a limb and call them celebrities in the world of ClickLearn. So Joelle is the team lead of our implementation team. She's responsible for onboarding 150 clients every year. Please, Joelle, introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Joachim. Yeah, hi everyone. Very nice to be here. My name is Joelle. I am the team lead for the implementation team. I've been here for almost 2 years, and one of my passions is to really put people in the center of digital transformations.
Awesome. Michael, our chief architect and co-founder of ClickLearn and one of the most knowledgeable people of all things ClickLearn, please introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, nice to be here. My name is Michael. Yeah, I'm on the technical side, so any questions are welcome in terms of what UXP can do. So let's be here.
And finally, Karthik, our last defense in battling problems and onboarding issues for our clients. He's heading a small but very efficient team responsible for finding solutions to our clients' problems. He has written probably more best practices than anyone in the world. And please, Karthik, introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, welcome to the session. I'm Karthik. I basically bridge the gap between customer-facing teams and the product teams. So welcome to the session. Let me know if you have any technical questions regarding UXP. I'll help you with the solutions. Right.
Fantastic. And before we get the show running, I want to encourage everyone to put their questions in chat. Chat is the king in these sessions, and we will answer any questions relating to anything ClickLearn, although we, of course, hope that most of what you will be asking today is around UXP. I also want to just leave a friendly reminder with you that we are running our yearly authoring conference, the Masterclass 2025. It's a free for authors event, and we have over 5 hours of extremely exciting content, 13 sessions, a lot of Q&A going on. So I encourage you all to be joining Masterclass. It's on 7th of October, this coming Tuesday, so exactly a week from now. All right, without further ado, gentlemen and gentlewomen, let's see if we can make our way through the intricate system of the UXP UAC. So maybe I'll start out with you, Joelle. So what is it that you see in your implementation job with over 150 clients? What are the most successful clients doing when they start up a UXP UAC project?
That's a really good question. So I would say narrow it down. The most successful clients really have a 3-steps approach to launching their UXP UAC project. And And the first step is really to ensure that their recordings follows best practice, that they have qualified their existing recordings, right? Um, so that includes different things, but first of all, we are working with data-driven content. So it's really important that the documentation needs to be structured correctly for the virtual assistant in the UXP, UAC to work properly. I know that we have our ClickLearn universe. We have a lot of great articles and guides on how to work with data-driven content, and also our famous Morten from Morten's Corner have also some sessions about this, and that is on the community. So don't hesitate to look that up. It's also important to capture complete processes, right? So it's really important to record every step in your workflows to ensure that flawless navigation for the end users to follow through their new system. And then really, when we are talking about end user, build the material so they can adopt their new system or the new upgraded system flawlessly. So they can get immediate help while they're navigating through a new system. Because when we are talking about introducing or implementing new systems, we are really talking about change management, changing people's habits. So the virtual assistant is a really great way to help users guide their way through a new process step by step. And it also allows, well, essentially more experienced users to skip some steps and just jump to, if they forget a few steps mid-process. And lastly, I would say focus on performance support. It's not just documentation. It's really to provide that contextual support guide to the end users in the flow of their work, and really also trying to target it for specific user roles, so the right people get the relevant information that they need.
All right, I know as well, Joel, that you've been onboarding a lot of people that have started out with sort of traditional e-learning, using our methodologies, using our structure, putting in the recordings. How difficult is it to transition your skill set up to USC?
It's not difficult at all. So basically, you can enable the UAC, a project to a UAC or UXP project immediately. And then we are here standing by to assist you with any best practices. But you will immediately see if your content flows through, which is a great benefit. So you don't have to wait for the go live of your system to see if the training material actually works.
All right. Brilliant, absolutely. So Karthik, I'm gonna head it off to you. So I know that you've seen a lot of UXP implementations as well on your side, on the technical side. Is there anything that users are doing that you would recommend that they don't do?
Uh, Usually, what users try to do is they don't check their sources before publishing the UXP, and the complaint after that comes like, I can't get a response from my chat. So
Right.
uh, the main step before you publish a UXP, make sure you have all the sources correct, make sure you have all the assets correct in the right place, and then proceed to publish the UXP. Then everything
Yeah.
will be seamless. So that is the first step to keep in mind.
All right. And Karthik, I'm also gonna ask you because I know that you're gonna show us the multi-language UXP a little later and tell us a little bit about that. But maybe you can just do a really quick pre-burner to that and tell me what is all the fuss about the multi-language UXP.
So UXP is now enabled to support multiple languages. Initially, it was only EN/US that we used to support, but now we have extended it to multiple languages. So in um the main thing about that is if you are in a different language, let's say Danish, no need to change the URL or the content link in the extension. it just works seamlessly. UXP already knows in which language your system is, and it will automatically display the content in the language which you are in, right? So that is one uh, good thing about it. And then if you have content already localized or already replayed in multiple languages, that is also available. You just need to make sure the UXP configuration is right, and then you can publish it, and it will be available in that particular language.
All right. So maybe for those who have never seen the UXP, maybe Michael, can you take us through sort of a really fast-paced? I know you're great at that. So a fast-paced session on what is the UXP and what does it look like for the end users actually engaging with it.
Sure, I will. So I'll try and do it quick and dirty on two different systems. So one could be the Dynamics 365 platform. So here we're basically looking at the application itself where the UXP has been activated. And that really means that instead of finding somewhere where the printed out documentation that you've done is located, you can simply just open up the UXP and it will basically work seamlessly inside the application and give you, according to the context that you're in, some suggestions around what it is that you can do. As soon as you go for different areas within the application, this is what we call context. It will basically change the behavior of the UXP and highlight what is suggested within this context. So now I will basically know that here I could do something around accounts, and if I go into a different area, it will change again, and then it will basically show, according to this, basically what should possibly be relevant for me in this particular situation. Now, all that we have when we work inside the UXP is, of course, the same thing as the full learning portal. It means that I can search for anything, but I can also utilize the AI chatting with content, which includes all the recordings that I have in my content, including also additional assets, which might be corporate PDF documents that explain something around what is the procedure for doing this and that inside the system. Now, if I choose to do something, it could also be that I say I want to create an account. So I can search for it and it will basically look this up in the system. I can find it. And basically here you will see what we would describe as the documentation. It will show me step by step what it is that needs to be done. I can watch the video. So it's all embedded inside the UXP, not just the learning portal. So I can watch the video to get a good sense of what it is that is going to happen. Or I can choose to run the assistant. And this will basically just tell me and highlight as it goes along what is actually going to happen. Now I need to click on accounts and I could continue from here. So this is basically the guided learning that comes into play. Now, when we look at the other side of things, for example, on IFS, where we call it the UAC, it's basically the same thing. So I'm logging into my IFS application. Now, when that has started up, the UXP will basically be there. Now, depending on how you have configured the UXP, it might pop up with notifications, as Joachim explained. So I can configure my UXP and I can also make sure that I can notify users that comes into IFS applications, say, hey, now you need to pay attention to something. We are doing maintenance on the system or whatever. Other than that, it's basically the same thing. So if I were to search for something like purchase order, I will be able to search in this. I could also use the AI, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing that. But if I choose that, you can see again from the learning portal, same content. It's part of the UXP or the UAC in this matter. I can start the video or I can start the assistant. So this basically means that you are solving a lot of challenges for the end users here, not by trying to email them a link to the learning portal itself, but basically just putting it right in front of them when they need it.
And can I ask you the entire contextual journey, the idea that when you're navigating between modules inside, let's say IFS or the CE system, how easy is it to configure where do my work instructions actually pop up?
Yeah, it's very easy. So if you consider it and go into ClickLearn Studio, you can see that right now I'm in a project. It's a normal content project, but I've extended it with the UXP. This is for Dynamics 365 CE. Same thing would apply for the UAC on IFS Cloud. But basically, I can go in and I can manage my sources. Now, when I look at my recording sources, they actually reference back to the structure. Now, there's a difference between what we call segmentations or segments inside a learning project in ClickLearn. And we need to link that or tie that together with the user roles, the security roles that you have inside your system. So in this case, if I go and look at the sources, you will basically see that I have chosen in this project to take some of the user roles and apply them to specific segments inside my learning content. Now, this means that I can basically ensure that anything that goes into sales in my segment, in my learning portal, applies to a specific user role. So it's fairly easy. If I don't do it, I will have full access to all the content that I have in my learning portal. But if I choose to use it, I simply just need to link the user role with the segmentation inside my ClickLearn project.
And the integration to the actual forms that you're inside. I mean, whether you're in the account, I maybe I wouldn't want to present how do you create an invoice from within the account. I'd do that from the invoice module. How do you set that up? Is there any setup required to do that?
Basically, there's not a lot of setup. So the UXP basically knows what context that I'm in. When we produce the content, so let's say that you have done the recording, as you saw before, create an account. Now, when you record that with ClickLearn, or you replay it, doesn't really matter, it will basically know on every single step what context it belongs to. And that also means that when you're inside this particular application, the CE system, it knows that I'm in the context of account. Now, if you're unsure of that, there's a small technical tip for this. So you can Control, Shift, and click on one of your tabs. And that will basically indicate to you where you are. So I can see what my user context is. It is currently account. Those are the technical names from the CE system. And then I can basically also see my system user roles. Now, we made this very easy when you go into the configuration in ClickLearn. So all of this information will be available to you as well when you are trying to configure the UXP or the USC within the project.
So outside of my work instructions, what else can I put in there in that pen?
Yeah, a lot of things. We talked a little bit about the chat, for example, right? So let's if we go in, for example, let's go into the IFS system as we had before. Let's try and go out from my normal search and go into the chats. Now, in this case, I've basically added a number of PDF documents that will hold a lot of intel around how to do maternity leave. Now, if we look at the other side, the CE, I could basically go in and look at my additional AI sources. And that could be anything that I'm uploading here, but it could typically on a customer's perspective, it could be PDF documents that explain something about the organization, whatever it might be. Now you simply upload them to the AI sources here. And once we publish the project, it will become an isolated part of the AI. It's like having ChatGPT, but with very specific sources only known to this AI that is running inside our UXP or UIC. Now, if we go into the IFS, it also means that I can now chat with the AI and say, tell me about leave. Now, this will basically talk to the AI around this that knows all the recordings that you have in the project, but it also knows all around the PDF documents that you've uploaded additionally. So now it will basically reply like you would imagine that Copilot or ChatGPT would do and tell you a lot about this, but it will also give you the sources. Now, this is not a recording that I have here. This is basically something that is based on a PDF document, and it will go directly to a particular page that has actually been utilized by the AI to generate the reply. So it's fairly easy and fairly simple, but it gives all of your intelligence from your corporation into the system. If I go back to the 365 CE and do the same thing and say, please what to do when creating an account. It could be anything, right? So a user of yours that actually goes into the system could ask any kind of question. And it will basically tell you something around what are the prerequisites in order for you to create an account. You can read through that and figure out, and they'll also give you the sources. Now, this is the recording that I used before. So when I click on that link, it will guide me directly to the recording. I can start the assistant, and that will then, at the end, go and guide me through the process.
All right, thank you so much for that really fast walkthrough. That was only 19 minutes, and Karthik, I'm think I'm gonna hit it a little back
Yeah.
to you. Are we supporting every platform on UXP, or do we have some things that we are not currently supporting? Just for everyone out there to know.
We're not supporting, like we are supporting many platforms, but not all. Uh, like we are supporting CE, the customer engagement, Business Central, F&O. Soon they will be will onboard Oracle as well into this Oracle HCM, basically Salesforce and SAP. But apart from that, we're not supporting any other platforms.
All right. So what about Power Platform on if I have Power Platform application?
Power Platform or Power BI, we don't support Power BI as of now.
All right. But platform, when it comes to the model-driven applications, I believe we have support, right?
Yeah, if it is a model-driven application that is working through the CE system again, then it
Right.
works.
All right.
Then we
Got
can
it.
make it work. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. And I know that the entire AI chat that Michael just showed, we actually converted into a special product called Alfred. Can you tell me a little bit about Alfred, Karthik?
Yeah. Alfred is the team's bot, basically. Alfred, uh, the same configuration goes. Like, we no need to do something different. It just works when you publish a project with UXP. Already it supports Alfred, so you can just copy the link, deploy the Alfred in the as a bot, and then chat with the content. Right. So it will just, as Michael showed, it will just give the sources of the content, and then it will redirect you to the link where you can go back and check what exactly it is. It will answer everything just like a chat gpt inside the teams, and uh, with the sources of your structure and the pdfs which you have configured in the project.
But you're basically chatting with your own ClickLearn recordings as well as any content that you additionally put in there, and then you're doing it from Teams, and it can be structured into channels and things like that.
Yes.
All right, I got you. All right, so Joelle, let's head back to some of the difficult stuff here. Is how do you get this up and running? So tell me, when you're looking at, normally when we're looking at user adoption projects, we always recommend that you do feedback loops between the end user and the authors. Are you recommending something different when we are talking about UXP, or is it still the good old fashioned user adoption disciplines that we are keeping close to heart?
I mean, I would say yes, but what we have learned in the implementation team is that it's always good to have a dual approach. So yes, we have the in-app dashboard that provides, that overview where you can monitor and track end user adoption of the different features in the UXP. So it can track, how many engage with the AI chat and which content is really used at a top level. Some of the things we've noticed is that we really recommend also the project team or the customers to set aside a small end user test group as soon as possible. And that test group, depending on the size, can of course also consist of a few super authors, right? Author team that really also create the majority of content. Because what we find is that when an author creates the content or are in the content creation phase, if they can see immediately how it will turn out and appear in the user adoption center or UXP, then they would have a much easier time both to adapt different learnings that they have in the content and thereby improve the methodology of the content creation. But they will also just be more motivated and inspired because actually, their creations are really coming to life.
Got it. All right. So I think we have finally a question from chat, which I'm very happy by. So Sandra is asking, so for Oracle ERP, UXP is supported. And I think this is either Michael or Karthik. You can fight over this, but we'll see who gets that first.
Quick answer: no. We support Oracle HCM.
All right.
Yeah, I think that I can add to this because the question is somewhat missing out on something. Oracle is like a million different applications, so I would really like it to be a little bit more specific. It's true what Karthik says. It's Oracle HCM that we are supporting, and we will do the UXP for, but there might be a million other Oracle solutions out there, perhaps also Windows based and so forth. So it's a little bit difficult to give 100% answer on it.
But I think that if we take it from a strategic point of view, the idea is that we want to take coverage as many of the mainline products inside the Oracle suite, and down the line we will absolutely be supporting more Oracle products. I think that we'll probably go web-based first. So if you have something that is based on a strong Windows client, it's probably less likely that we will pick it up in the initial runs, but we will certainly get to a bigger coverage of the Oracle products down the line. I think one of the key issues that we've had around Oracle is around finding the right context inside the application. So uniquely identifying what form are you actually on. And if our software is unable to give contextual guidance in the moment of need, then it becomes kind of a thing that anyone can do. So I think that is what we are always trying to achieve. And I know that that's been difficult on HCM, but we managed to crack that. And we should be able to have some coverage further down the line. I hope that clarifies, Sandra. Otherwise, please feel free to jump in again. So I think that we're probably coming to the big disclosure of the multi-language UXP, Karthik. And before you jump into the demo, then I wanna ask you is is there something that is very difficult in providing the multi-language UXP, or is it just plain vanilla the entire way? If I have a setup where I have offices and branches in France and in the US and in Taiwan, would that be a difficult setup, or is it relatively easy to configure?
It is relatively easy to configure because we just have the projects ready, and the content should be replayed in those specific languages, and then it's just the UXP is the one thing which we need to configure and set it up and then publish. Then you're done.
Got it. All right. Are you going to take us through a small demo?
Sure. Before that, I think Sandra has a follow-up question where she says thanks and Oracle Fusion ERP like payables,
Symbols,
receivables,
receive.
etc.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So on the support side, I don't know whether we've tested on Oracle Fusion. Michael, maybe you can shed some light on that.
Uh, Yeah, I think that the Oracle HCM is based on Fusion. I know from the technical perspective that it might be a mix in between in the HCM. So I need to go back to the team and just try and verify this. I know
All
that
right.
there are payables and stuff like that inside the HCM. So I hope that is what Sandra is looking for.
All right, we'll get an answer across to you, Sandra, as soon as possible. You can hear that there's a lot of expertise in the room, but not around Oracle. But we'll absolutely investigate, and we'll get back to you as soon as we are done with this session. Yeah. All right, Karthik, I'm gonna head it over to you on the demo side.
Sure. Yep. So let me pull up my screen then. So I hope you can see the screen. Uh, I have opened again the CRM application, right? And I have configured, like, I have selected my language as Danish, and I have, you can see already I have the notification pop up that says here is account in English, as well as the same thing in Danish. So if I click on the Danish link, it'll show me where exactly I should click. You see, it took me to the account, and let me click on this. Then yeah, it says that's the account, and we're done with the assist here. So that is, we call it as a feature tour, basically. So I have added a feature tour so that I can display it here. And you see that was in Danish again. I have a recording that says update an account, and it's in Danish. When I click that, you see all these details, the steps and everything are in Danish. It's not in English. So basically what I did is I replayed this recording in Danish, so I get all the Danish content here with my system in Danish. And also, if you see, if I go to the details, the assist also the tooltip also is in Danish. If I just click this, and that helps me with the assist, and I can go through the uh, recording again and my video, and that's in Danish too. And apart from that, if I click on the notification, I can see the notification. I have configured it to be displayed in English as well as Danish. You can see it. I have two different notifications here, and chat as well. So if I just type something about Alexander, I have a PDF for Danish. If you see, it says DA. I have configured. I have just named it as DA. So it will take the data only from that particular uh, asset, from that particular PDF, which is associated to Danish language in the studio, right? So I'll just show you how it is done. So this is UXP in a different language, right? So I'll show the settings which I did for the same. It's if I go to settings, I'll show you how many languages which I have. I click on language settings to show the languages. I have English, Danish, and French. And I click on UXP. And I have in the sources, I have my structure. And when I go to additional AI sources, I have multiple sources here and I can associate them with a language. So you just need to drag and drop an asset and then select the language which you think is relevant to that particular asset which you are adding. In this case, I have three different PDFs and three different languages. And UXP, the chat in the UXP is smart enough to understand that you are in the English language or in the Danish language and pull the responses only from that particular language PDF. So this is one of the setup that you need to do for the AI assets. Then next comes the tab configuration. So under the tab configuration, now we have introduced this new drop down for languages. Just need to click on that and click, and it will ask whether you need to add uh, the configuration. So I have already done that. Then it will copy the configuration from English, and if I just expand this, you can see I have the sources, recording sources, and it's just one recording source, right? But my recording is replayed in multiple languages. That's the reason I see the same recording in English as well as the same recording in Danish. Similarly, when I go to chat, this is again, now I'm in Danish language. Then if I customize the chat and I go to sources, here I just have selected one source, one PDF and one recording source, the two sources basically. And I can select multiple, but it's relevant that I choose only Danish because the language is Danish. Then comes notification. So I just enable the notification, and when you go to the notifications, there is a setup which is slightly different than the normal notification. Say I click this and I say update. I'll just show you where exactly the language part kicks in. When you create a notification, you have the language that you can set up here. Then in triggers, you can choose which language you need to display your notification in. So this says that which language the notification is created, and this displays the notification in that particular language, right? This is what you need to take care while you are setting up a notification. And same rule applies for the role provider as well. So if you in my case, not role provider, I'm sorry, feature tour as well. In my case, if I go to feature tour, it again says this particular tour is visible on English US and this is in Danish. So but the notification appears in multiple languages.
All right, we haven't really touched on Karthik, the feature tool itself. Can you tell a little bit about what is that and how do you use that?
Okay. Feature tour is nothing but a place where we can introduce multiple features to the end users. Or if you want to introduce the application in the basic level, say where is what, and by pointing it out, we have the assist inbuilt. So assist will just guide you, or we have the video setup that guides you, or that just speaks about the application, basically giving us a welcome, or guiding us where exactly I need to go without getting the users panicked. So that is called a feature tour. You can use your existing recordings. So in my case, I have used one of the existing recordings. Just click on edit. I have used the existing recording, and it says click on the item accounts. That is what it does. I can just change the text as well. If I click edit, and I can change the text. I can basically here I can set the mode of delivery, either assistant or video. The same thing will be spoken as a video. If I just click video and save, so now my guide will be in the video. It just shows where I need to click.
Got it.
And
All right, so
again, you can add notes as well in this. So
all right.
by greeting the users.
So it's basically a multimedia presentation that you can put together for your end users and deploy that inside the working solution to create better onboarding experiences, or maybe even get those hard to get last third of your audience that never really gets the point behind your system, to get them a little bit of better training. And can this be targeted using the same structure as the segments? So we can hit and pinpoint the users accurately.
We can do that, but via notifications. When I activate this, I can change the settings and in the notifications. So basically, I have the segments listed. Once my project is produced and published, I have segments listed here. I can select the segments, only these particular segments I want my users to see. That can be done here. Only when user hits a particular thing, they can particular page, they can see the notifications. That can be set up from here.
Awesome. Thank you, Karthik. And some good news for Sandra. I had to get someone in pre-sales who actually understands the Oracle product language. I'm going to go back home tonight and read about that. I do apologize, but it does work on Oracle Fusion ERP. So that's a quick yes to Sandra. It took a little while. It wasn't a quick yes, but it was a yes nevertheless. All right, Joelle. So I am one of your many customers, and I'm looking to get into UXP. Do you have any tips and tricks on how do I best get started with this, and what should I do?
Yes, absolutely. First of all, Karthik, thank you so much for that rundown. I'm really a fan of the notifications myself, so I appreciate you mentioned that. But yes, best practice to get our tips to get started. I would say first of all, as I say with everything ClickLearn related, ClickLearn is an intuitive tool. I mean, you can hardly make any long-lasting mistakes, right? So jump into it. Don't be afraid of testing it out. Um, understand how you want to use the content, how you want to present it to the end users, right? So really try to understand what kind of features you want to prioritize. A lot of our customers do like the virtual assistant, as it provides that in-app guidance, but also allows more, experienced people to skip some steps, so they don't have to go through the entire process from the beginning. Make use of notes or text blocks just to provide some additional contextual information for the end users, or use the summarization feature we have, right? That's an AI that can really summarize your whole process with a few clicks from your end, and provides, a great update for the end users or any learning objectives. And then remember that, the process needs to be completed, right? So don't skip any steps within a process, because that will just bite you in the, that will make things much more complicated for the end users. Yeah. And then if you have any questions, turn to the community, to the ClickLearn universe, or just contact Karthik with the support. So you'll be fine. It's going to be a fun journey. It's really fun to work with. And this is also what I hear from anyone of our clients.
All right. So I think that we are slowly running out of questions. So I'll open up the floor again to chat and encourage everyone to please ask your questions. We'll be happy to demo anything. We have the best guys available for you. So if there's anything you want to see, anything you're struggling with, whether it's UXP related or not, please feel free to drop it in chat, and we'll try and see how we can help you out today. So one of the things I maybe want to talk about that I get quite a few questions around is that how are we seeing the UXP change in the future? And And I can tell you that one of the things that we're seeing is that a lot of enterprises are driving their own enterprise AI projects, and one of those deliverables will be our technology. We are not particularly in love with our own LLM implementation or whatever we are doing inside the UXP. What we want to do is we want to make sure that your processes get in the hands of your end users where they're actually asking the questions for the AI. So I think you'll see some composable structures around that, meaning that we can basically take out all your processes and make them available inside your corporate AI. And now there's a question from Sandra. If a user is creating a transaction and already knows the initial steps, is it possible to skip those and only enable assistance when they reach a point where they're unsure how to navigate? And Michael, that's one for you.
Sure. Yes, that is totally possible. So I can quickly show it off if my screen is still visible and so on. Then we can take the same thing. We'll do it in both systems, right? So let's say that I go into accounts already, but I still want to use the create an account as we saw before. Now you can see all the steps that are doing here, telling me something, having me to navigate, and then I need to click on the menu item new. Now there's a take me there function, and that will basically go directly to that step. So if I know exactly where I want to go and I want to skip something, I'm right in the middle of doing something, then I can simply just scroll down and then do whatever is needful, right? And depending on the process that you have, if you go into whatever account and you then figure out, but now I actually need to go into a particular field and then continue from there to basically ensure that I'm upholding whatever corporate structure you have around the process, then you can do it like this.
I know that this is something that you and I are debating often, and there's a big jigsaw puzzle on your desk where you just need to assemble the pieces around the pickup pattern, because this can get insanely difficult. If you, for instance, imagine you're picking the user up in the middle of a process, you also want to ensure that the user has actually performed the previous steps in the right way. And our technology is currently supporting that, meaning that we can actually verify to a certain degree whether we think it's accurate or not, and we can guide the user in how to make that accurate again. And some of these things some of them are implemented in product already. These are small changes. You're not really going to see them, but there's so much work behind getting that entire flow to work. And some of this will be coming down the line where the engine will be even stronger on identifying this and doing sort of what we call the pickup pattern inside a process. But for now, you can absolutely start off your process and then say, take me there, and it will guide you from there on. I hope that answers your question, Sandra. Is there anything else that we can offer our advice on from chat? All right. I don't know about you guys. Do you have anything you want to share with the group on UXP? Is there anything we haven't covered in details? Karthik, Michael?
Yeah, I think one thing that we might, try and highlight a little bit is something that from time to time might be a little bit overseen in not only the UXP, UAC, but in general when you think about your content that you put into ClickLearn. So when people need to learn around a process, Joelle nicely explained, put in your notes, get in why you're doing this, how should you do it, explain to people why they're doing what you want them to do, and so forth. One of the things that we have in ClickLearn that is quite interesting is the ability not only to utilize AI in the UXP, but also to utilize avatars. So we can basically create videos from your content that you record with ClickLearn. We can get that narrated from a lot of different voices that you can select from, but you can also utilize avatars that will basically make everything a little bit more appealing to the end user. Now, the cool thing around this is that it will basically also apply to the content that you're putting into your UXP or UAC. In feature tours, in the playing recordings, the processes, and so on. So when you have a feature tour that goes in and does something, it might come in like this, but now you have an AI avatar. I know you can't hear the voicing right now, but it is basically also narrating this. User can skip it and then continue on their journey. So it can be a mix in the feature tour as Karthik nicely showed us. But it allows us not only in this content, but in all the content that you do with ClickLearn to get in these avatars. They will live inside the content, they will live inside the on-screen guidance, and so on. So I really think it's something to check out at least.
All right, thank you, Michael. And another question is coming up. Can we have the statistics for the UXP as we have for the learning portals and seeing how well they are performing? And I know that we have a lot on that, Karthik, so maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Yes. So just like we have a portal, the dashboard and analytics for the learning portal, we also have the analytics with the drill down pages for the UXP. So you can just navigate to your particular project where you have published the UXP, and then you can see the results in the dashboard there. Also, you get the O data from you can get the O data feed for that as well. So let me quickly show you how where it is done, if my screen is visible. Okay, I think my screen is now visible. So uh, you can see this is the dashboard of UXP. This is the regular dashboard and this is the UXP dashboard. And you can see this page where it says engagement, and you can see the engagement of the users. In my case, I was the only one who was using this for the demo purposes. So uh, and it gives the users, it gives how many users have been increased over time, the new users, how many AI conversations your end users are having, and stuff. And also it shows us which is the top consumed content, top consumed AI content, and what was the search terms. All these things we can uh, uh, see in the dashboard. And also when you click any of these items, like say in this case I have a view all, if you try to click in that, and I can go to the page, which it drills down to a page where it displays a list, and it shows all the users, what they've been using, how much is their idle time, and how much is their active time, and stuff. And I can further drill it down to see more details on that particular user.
Right. So I think, Sandra, you should have everything. So one question that came up is where can I find resources for UXP? So I think that a couple of good places is community, of course, our documentation, which should be available from Learning Portal directly from the Learning Portal, and then obviously the universe has a vast amount of good educational courses on this. And then I know that if I leave the word to you, Joelle, you'll probably suggest that we reach out to the CEST team as well, because we are actually very eager to hear how do you want to go on with this, and how do you want to move this forward. And so reaching out to your local CS and say, look, I want to get started, will get you on the road.
Yes, and also on the 7th we have the masterclass, right?
Yeah.
Where we will also have different sessions that really tap into the different features.
Yeah, super exciting. So you will also that's a great resource for you there, Lucas, as well. Get into the masterclass and consume the content there. There'll be a lot on UXP, and I know that guys, most of you are of course looking forward to masterclass as much as I am. So tell me, Joelle, what session will you be doing on masterclass or sessions?
I only have one session this year, but I will actually do the session about AI narration and AI avatars, the
Oh,
thing that Michael just showed a few
oh,
minutes ago.
that's
Yes,
like the coolest demo ever.
I
Uh,
know.
Karthik, what are you doing on masterclass?
I'll be displaying how the UXP multi-language setup, as well as in the studio, how do you set up each and everything. I just gave an overview now, so that will
Yeah,
be in depth in the masterclass session.
that's super cool. And I'll be giving the keynote, so I probably know what that's about. But Michael, where will you be joining the masterclass?
I think I will be joining by heart. I don't think I have any sessions this year.
You're on the QA session, buddy.
Oh, I might be on the Q&A session. That might be
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So at the end of masterclass, we have a 1 hour Q&A session with Mortens from Mortens Corner. I think I'm in there as well, and then Michael. So we hope to see as many of you as possible on masterclass. 7th of October. Don't forget to sign up. You should be able to sign up from almost anywhere. So when you go to any website, wherever, then you're good. And then we have a direct masterclass link in the chat as well. Thank you for that, Sneer. All right, I think it's getting very close to closing time. If there are any final questions, please let me know. All right. I think yes, I think we are good. So I want to thank everyone for joining today. First of all, the audience, and then secondly, the amazing team that we have here today: Karthik, Joelle, Michael. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to
Thank you.
talk a little bit to everyone. And then I want to say to the audience, I really look forward to seeing everyone at Masterclass in 2025 on October 7th. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.